Um, I th I think it's mainly because I feel sometimes I'll feel like like I kind of hit a wall, kind
Yeah,
of where
yeah.
I'm just like not sure kind of how to approach this, and like I'll keep trying new things, but it's like kind of a wall where you just keep hitting your head against it, and eventually you're just like, all right, I need
Yeah,
I want a bit of help before I crack my skull open.
yeah, I get that. I get that. I'm looking at your form evolving faster, improving constantly. Want to reach your goal. Goal being masters, if possible, maybe even grandmaster. Yeah.
Yes, I think
Okay.
Grandmaster is kind of something that maybe I'm not 100% sure about that one.
Sure.
I'm not sure if I really want to like put the time in to get there, but I know I definitely
Yeah,
want to,
fair.
at least get Masters.
Okay. How long you been playing?
Um, since Overwatch 1, I want to say maybe it wasn't like since the very beginning. I know it was after Hog 1.0, after
Yeah.
they changed the hook.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. Okay. What got you into the game?
It was actually my friend. He was playing. He wanted somebody to play with. I was like, yeah, sure. I'll hop on and try it. And then yeah, from there I just uh been playing.
Sure.
It was probably one of my first computer games
Yeah.
and first FPS.
Okay. Okay. Has it always been on a Kiriko?
No, it swapped around. So whenever I first started, I really was playing more like the Mercy Junkrat stuff, and then I started picking up McCree or Cassidy now, and felt a bit more comfortable with that. And then I swapped over to Zen and actually was liking that a lot more, and then just transitioned completely to support. I played Zen for a solid while, pretty much. Like that was like the only thing I played. And then I swapped over to Baptiste, and Moira after that. When Overwatch 2 came out, I swapped over to
Hmm.
Kiriko and Zen, and now I'm playing Ana.
Okay.
But usually
Okay.
it's like two, one or two characters at a time.
Yeah. Okay. Why on a Kiriko specifically? What about their kits appeal to you right now?
I think for Kiriko, it's just the feeling that I can be very annoying, to the enemy team. Like just kind of constantly like, hey, they're always gonna be there, and even if you try to chase them down, they just TP away. It's like, well,
Yeah.
fuck. And then Ana, I think I just like those like kind of big burst moments where you're
Hmm.
just like, all right, just flip the entire team fight. It's like we win.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Fair enough. 3 to 4 hours a day, 4 to 5 days per week. Is that generally still the case?
Yes. Recently I actually haven't played for about a week, but that was just real life stuff like came
Yeah.
up
Of
and I
course.
couldn't find the time.
Yeah. Happens.
But I'm,
Okay.
kind of back to playing that now.
Now, do you have any questions about training? Like how to train effectively, how to use your time effectively, taking breaks, warm up, etc.
Um, I think pretty comfortable with how I'm like training right now. I think I do need to kind of do more reviews myself, which I've started doing a lot more recently.
Sure.
Just looking at my own gameplay, but um yeah, I think I'm okay with kind of the amount that I'm playing right now. It doesn't feel like too much. I feel like
Okay.
much more, and I'd probably just start burning out.
Yeah. Yeah. Why do you think you need to be reviewing yourself a little bit more? Have you done that before?
Um,
Have you found value out of it?
Yes, I have found value out of it. I wasn't doing it like too much recently, and I was like, okay, if I really, actually want to get serious about, getting to masters, I need to start. I need to actually, like start putting in the effort. You know, like all of it, not just like, all right, let's go 80% of the way there, and then
Yeah, I
chill it.
guess. What? Why? So I guess two questions kind of beg there. I'm not trying. I'm just kind of curious to get your input here. Like, why do you feel like that's the missing ingredient as opposed to just playing more, and or what value do you get out of that? Like, I'm just curious specifically what type of value you get out of it.
I think it gives me, just reviewing myself gives me things that like I just don't notice in the moment. Um, that I don't notice that like, oh, hey, like you're doing this weird thing, that's just, but really sucking for, that's really losing you games or losing you value, Um, and playing more, I feel like technically could work, but it would be like I feel like it'd be the really stupid way to approach of doing it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Okay.
okay, you can like if you want to run a 5K, you could do it underwater. It's gonna suck, but you could, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. 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 Okay. Okay. Makes sense. Now, when you've reviewed yourself before, if you have, what did that usually look like?
Usually I would take a game that just take a game that felt close or like felt like I just kind of got stuck, um, and see
Mm-hmm.
like okay, well at first it started with just reviewing my like deaths whenever I was starting like off in bronze and just reviewing my deaths. Okay, how do I live here? How do I live here? Um, I'm start reviewing like a lot more now, kind of just my decision making. Like why am I doing this? And yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, like I'm not too worried about like looking at the mechanics too much, just because I mean I feel like that's something I'm gonna have to just play the hours, to get better at, honestly.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's definitely like things before like you even like take that first shot, where like, okay, but did you actually set yourself up to take that first shot, or did you make it harder on yourself, unnecessarily?
Sure. 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 Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Things you feel like you're holding you back. Mechanics and ability usage feel like the biggest thing holding you back, with one thing feeding into the other. You talked a little bit about mechanics. I have a pattern of being heavy into Overwatch and abandoning the game for months at a time. Sure, sometimes I get a new perspective, but sometimes I feel like I lose so much. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, I think it's kind of one of the things where I kind of have like large cycles. Where I will like be playing. Right now I'm actually like kind of holding myself back a little bit because I don't want to like just burn out again.
Yeah,
Um,
that's good.
so, so I've kind of realized like if I play way too much, like I can go, like 10, 12 hours, just playing it a day, and I can do that for like maybe about a month, and then I'll be like, I don't want to play this anymore. I don't want to do
Yeah,
this. So I'm pulling back a bit. Yeah, generally that's kind of what'll happen. Like I'll have just a bunch of other stuff on my plate, Eventually it gets too much, and I'm like, I'm sick of this Overwatch.
yeah,
And then so I'll stop playing it. I always kind of get back interested into it again. It's always like, all right, I really eventually I'm like, okay, I want to play again. I really want to.
yeah. Okay,
Um,
okay.
so
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense. I mean, I think just like kind of addressing that issue is the big deal. I think if I can be frank, I know rank goals are a big deal, but I think one of the real cautions is that ruining the love for something is probably even more of a problem than the lack of ranking up because you're just grinding it. You get what I'm saying? Um,
yeah,
because obviously one thing leads to the other. You really like the game, you spend a lot of time in the game, you're going to get better at the game. But if you let your goals trump your enjoyment of the game completely, you're going to end up burning yourself out. This isn't something that you're
mhm,
trying to do for your health or for your job success. This is just a hobby, right? So even if there is some personal development in that, obviously it takes and demands a lot of maturity for you to kind of hold yourself back and be measured and disciplined with your approach. And I think that's a good life skill to have as well. So I'm glad to hear that you're trying that. When you have burned out, what were the tendencies that led towards that burnout? Like, what did that look like? Was that just like grinding 6 or 7 hours at a time? Was it just playing every day? Was it just playing to win or using comms or what? Or like, what happened here?
yeah. I think it's a combination of comms definitely have like just kind of ruined a lot of stuff, which is why now I like just literally just mute chat. I'm not even in voice. Like I just play myself. I don't care what my team is saying. Um, because I feel like most of the time it just kind of begins to tilt me, and then go a couple days tilted, and then it's just like okay, I'm sick of the game. I don't want to play anymore.
Yeah.
I think it hurts a lot more whenever I play like way too much, because I feel like yeah, like the first couple hours are fine, but then I'm just exhausted. I'm just playing,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
my performance begins to suffer, and then obviously like team starts noticing, and I feel it too. Like I'm
Yeah.
letting everyone down right now in this in this lobby. Um, yeah, so I've
When you've
yeah
played
pretty
less
much.
recently, like what's changed? Like how has your practice approach changed?
Um, so I am very structured at the very beginning. So like I have like kind of my own ritual what I do before I even start playing. Um, and then I am limiting myself to like just strictly like kind of 8 games because I feel sometimes I can push the ninth, but usually like about halfway through the ninth game, I just tap out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, we're just gonna limit it to the eighth game. If I'm not feeling it that day, I may not even play the full eight. I'll maybe play like four, six, five, something like that before doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm a lot more like just between queues. Like I slow down. I don't like always insta queue. I'll kind of look at the timer. If it's like a really long timer, then yeah, sure, I'll pop the queue just right away. If it's not, I'll like get up, just walk around. I stopped like just sitting at my desk pretty much
Yeah.
if I'm not playing the game, I'm not at my desk. I'm walking around, I'm doing something else.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good. Do you feel like that's helped? I assume yes. I mean, it sounds like it has.
Yeah, yeah, it has helped. I mean, I'm feeling a lot better, like a lot just mentally in a better state, happier.
Good.
Whenever I
Good.
finish my sessions now.
Good.
Um, so yeah, that's helped a lot, and then
Okay.
it makes it so that the next time, I'm like, okay, I really want to play again.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I'm glad. I mean, I think that's more important than literally anything else we'll talk about today. So, like, that's awesome. Like, good, great work. I mean, that's not easy to do either. That takes a lot of practice and maturity to do that consistently. And I'm sure you've had moments where you slipped out of it, but then you just hopefully get right back into the swing of things next session. Well done. Like, that's awesome. Now, you've gotten coaching before. So I want you to
Yes.
talk to me through maybe you've even seen some of my sessions before. You've probably had some ideas with Ana Kiriko. This is my last question here of things to work on, strategies to practice. Since you've received coaching from other people, maybe gotten some advice from some of my videos, what are some strategies that you've worked on applying successfully, maybe not so successfully, some strategies that you're still exploring, some techniques, maybe some weaknesses in your own gameplay? Just give me the full breakdown of what you've been applying in the last year.
The last year,
With Ana Kiriko
well,
really specifically, but just general
yeah,
stuff too.
yeah. Um, Being a bit more, I guess, I guess just taking angles a lot more, like actually putting myself into positions like sometimes it's higher risk, but just like
Yeah.
actually doing something in the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely one thing that's been touched on before, where it's like, okay, yeah, you're kind of participating, but you're really not doing much. And then just being, I guess, more consistent with that.
Yeah.
Um, and just, that's kind
That's
of
a
been
big
the
one.
biggest thing. That's kind
that
of
is
been
a
one really
that
big
is a
thing.
huge one. That's a huge one. That's probably the biggest one. So that's okay. Awesome. Okay. Well, if you don't have any other questions, we can jump into it if you like.
Sure.
Okay.
I
Shoot
do
me
have
a replay code, and we'll go here.
uh, oh, there it is. Okay, sure. Okay. Is that a zero or an O?
It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out.
Okay, 0F20DR?
0F0. What was the last part?
0F20DR.
20DR. Okay. Got it. Nice.
Oh.
Okay. Well, now, why this code in particular?
I felt like it was pretty kind of standard of how I play.
Yeah.
I had there was some moments I felt were nice.
Just you here?
Several moments where I felt yeah, Agent Perry, yeah.
Okay.
Several moments where I felt like, okay, you kind of really botched that. So you just
Sure.
yeah, because it didn't feel like it was just, hey, your team's rolling. It
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
feel like you're getting
Okay.
rolled either.
Is this all Ana, or is there Kyrian here as well?
I believe it's Alvana.
Okay, sounds good. Any questions with Ana or Kiriko before we get in?
None that come to mind at the moment.
Okay, sounds good. Let's take a look. Now, when you talked about self-review, you talked about how kind of going in, looking for things to work on. So I'll if questions come up and there's concepts to teach, I will bring those up as appropriate. But I want you to practice this self-review concept. Now, what we're going to do today is we're going to do a full review. What that means is we're going to go through a lot of the gameplay here, and we're going to cover everything, which is what I want you to do when I'm here, right? Now, when you're on your own, this kind of review is a lot less attractive because it takes a long time, it's tedious, and it can be a little bit boring. When you're on your own, I prefer the majority of your reviews to be a little bit more focused on a specific facet either I wasn't sure how to position here, or I was confused about how to play the matchup, or even if you just want to look at one specific thing, like my angles or my nades or my Suzus and so on, and just focus on just that. Skip around until you see the use, if that makes sense. And what that could do is that can allow you to kind of streamline and speed up the review process. So instead of 25, 30 minutes, it's 5 or 10. Reviews can be boring. I'm going to try to make it not boring, but on your own, it's boring. So it's less about the length of the review and more about the efficiency of your time in the review, if that makes sense. And so when you do it on your own, just do one topic. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, I think I remember this first point. I was feeling pretty lost, kind of where to
Sure.
go. Like,
That means it's good to review. Yeah, it's good to
I
review.
just kept going kind of back and forth for a while.
Yeah. So what we'll do is I might be able to give you some insight here, but before I give you that insight, I'm going to ask you to, now that you've had the power of hindsight, what do you think? So we'll just kind of play this out here. What do you think? Useful? Create space? Yes, no?
I think the nade was too early.
Okay.
Once I saw the Junkrat, I was like, okay, I don't like being here anymore because I'm just gonna
Agreed.
get,
So was the nade too
head-
early? Then was the nade too early?
I think the nade was too early, and I also think ideally I wanted to get, probably like the Rhine as well.
So you said you explained why you naded early, but then said it was too early. So then, like, which is it? You get what I'm saying? Don't be hindsight.
Sure.
Don't be hindsight. Give yourself the objective answer here, because you didn't die, but maybe you would have died if you'd stayed an extra second longer. What do you think?
Well, I think what I could have done instead is like hug the wall a bit more so that they can't like see me, and then that way I could have waited for our hog to get a bit closer, so that he's actually also kind of participating in this.
Yeah, even just like half a second closer. Okay, so like the execution of, like, I guess for lack of a better term, the timing and the cover on the angle was the problem, not the timing necessarily, or I guess the nade itself then. So you would have liked to hug the wall and maybe wait like half a second longer.
Yeah, and then I think if I hug the wall as well, I mean, now in hindsight I know it, but I could have slept the Rhine. And I feel like that
absolutely. You could have cooled on, dumped, and run. Like that's absolutely a play style that you can go for depending on the situation. Yeah. In terms of the angle itself, are you pleased with where you tried to prod the enemy team?
Yeah, I think I'm okay with it, especially because I didn't know they had a Junkrat yet.
I agree. I mean, there's not really a lot of options here. Like, let's be honest. So you made space and did something. Now, what do you think about this here?
I think
This is a weird situation. I've got a solution for you. Let's see if you can spot it. Where's the angle?
I think I perhaps should just run straight into that kind of room in front of me.
Pretty spooky, right? I'm not going to recommend that, to be honest with you, but you're thinking about it the right way. Ryan just chased Genji out over here. Your hog is over here. Where's the angle? You ready for it? Right here. Just on main.
Down main.
Just down main, right? Why? Because where is the pressure elsewhere? Elsewhere.
The pressure is everywhere else.
Everywhere else. So you could just kind of poke on main. Now you got to be careful with the Hanzo, but you could throw a sleep dart or maybe hold the sleep dart, pop a couple of shots in the rat. You're good. I like what you did here because your hog was on main, but then now that your hog fills the spot, you can kind of rotate back around and prod over here. That's how Overwatch works. Good stuff. I mean, you could that's why you said to go here. In no world would you ever go here, except for the fact that your hog's creating a big ruckus over here. So you didn't quite have the exact right execution, but you had the right idea. You're like, wait, that area is actually kind of open now. Yep. Good read. And that's kind of how you play Ana, right? Go ahead.
Something I've definitely been doing is just like, sometimes just like kind of going crazy with. I'm not 100% sure if this is going to work, but we'll fucking try it.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah, why not? I mean, that's how we learn, right? So, by the way, what rank is this?
This is,
approximately?
I believe, actually plat 3 now. I went on a pretty bad losing streak before I was like before the week.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay. So right now, where should you be? Be specific.
Actually, not even sure here. I feel like okay-ish in this position.
That's not terrible, right? Now, the reason I ask you that is because of what happens immediately afterwards. You see it? Why are you moving towards your hog?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think I got nervous
Yep, yep,
that I
yep,
was gonna
yep.
get shot, and I think that is something that I have noticed, especially when I review myself. Is like I get nervous about where I am, and then I just go back to kind of safety.
But see, that's the problem. This is not safety. This is significantly more risky than where you were 2 seconds ago. This is safer than moving towards a target that is a roadhog, that is a tank, right? In the same manner that when you went here, we asked what the angle was. The angle was on main because your roadhog was on right. You can keep and should keep LOS in your tank when you can, but you don't want to be on top of your tank. That's one of the worst spots in the entire map to be. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you need to keep an eye on these migratory practices, right? Don't hug your tank. Create space, create an angle, open the sight line. Don't move towards the target. Move away, if anything. Like this rotation from you is exceptional because you have a great sight line on your tank, good cover, and an off angle, right? This is perfect. You see the difference in this position in terms of your lethality and your ability to actually do things? I mean, look at that, right? If you'd been here sooner, maybe we could have actually done something. Good job. Good try with the sleep dart. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Waiting for your team. Where's the angle? Same old place, right?
Yeah, I guess there isn't really a lot of choices here.
There isn't a lot of choices. You're going to go into here, and you're going to try to sleep the Rhine if he's not looking, or just keep his attention on you if he is, right? He can't deal with you and the Roadhog at the same time. This works out okay because your Roadhog goes right, but only because your Roadhog goes right. Do you see it?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty funny. But do you see why this nade boinks? Why does this nade fail?
Because I'm just with the hog, and so everybody's
Right.
running away from the hog already.
Well, and not
now
only
they're
that, but all the spam from the enemy team is in this direction from both Hanzo and Junkrat, and you're going to get your nades body blocked, which is exactly what happens right here. So where should your rotation have been from the moment that you stack with your Roadhog here? Where should your rotation gone?
I think the tower, actually, like kind of middle tower.
Like towards here? Just moving this way?
Yeah, towards that corner with the bush.
Yeah. Heck, you could even just go back to here, pop a nade, and decide to rotate here, or decide to rotate here. Yeah, exactly. Just anywhere off to the side. You get here, you get the nade. Or you go, oh, I don't have a sightline for a nade. Let's hold the nade. Okay, I can maybe nade Reinhardt or sleep Reinhardt or whatever else. You get what I'm saying? Open up your angle. Notice that when we're talking about angles, we're not saying you necessarily have to go all the way to backline, but you need to split your sight line. You need to split your sight line. Create your opportunities. This is still a mistake. Where should you be? Small adjustment. Small adjustment. Where should you be?
I can actually go into the room. I think I still have
Correct.
sleep, so he can't really push me.
Correct. It's risky with Junkrat, yeah, but Junkrat has to choose, do I spend all my spam in a small room and hope it maybe hits Iana, or do I get guaranteed pressure on the tank? You make him make that choice. Right now, he gets to have both. That's your fault, right? Right here is great. But then if your tank stacks with you and you're like, crap, that's okay. Go right back to the right. And that's what you do. In fact, I can tell you're thinking about it, and I'm going to be honest with you, you should do it. You should do it. I can tell you're thinking about going deeper right. You should. Go for it. Why? Why would you go right? What would that do?
I mean, it's gonna draw a lot of attention, especially because I'm about to have both my cooldowns up. Like,
That's the key thing right there. You have it. You have the resources you need. You might want to hold your sleep dart here, but pop a nade here, hit a couple of shots. That's going to take all the heat off of the Roadhog, and you'll have your sleep dart to keep yourself alive. Now, you don't have to, because this is still an off angle, because look at your Roadhog. Look at you. Ryan can't block both. That's exactly why he gets slept. You see that? So this is still okay, but, you know, you have your cooldowns. You're fine. Good nade. Good nano that if you want to. This is still winnable. You guys have enough space here. 4v5 is still winnable. Good nano that as well. Good nano. Good pocket. Good try with the sleep dart. So, this is the rule with Ana, okay? And this is something that's even kind of applicable right here. I know she needs healing, but your number one priority is to deal with what's directly in front of your screen first. You get what I'm saying? So, that's kind of like a tough moment right here. But this one's even more important. This is a huge, huge error from you, right? Right.
I just completely went all the way back. No,
This is okay.
I got here eventually, but I think maybe it would have been
partially, but there's something even worse that happens here. So first off, you need to sit on this corner right now. You don't need to move forward. This is all you did. Moving forward doesn't make you do more damage. You got to keep an eye on this. You're bouncing and you're gravitating, right? You're a migrator and you're a bouncer, okay? That's the two habits movement-wise that need to be fixed or improved. But this is an even more important problem here, or just as important. This is problem number 1. Nothing matters at all right now except for what's on your screen right now. You understand? Your ability to kill, deal with, survive, whatever, what's on your screen trumps everything else. There is this instinct that I see from all support players that I even have to fight myself sometimes. When they're under pressure, their first instinct is to heal somebody. And that is the stupidest instinct that you possibly come in. I'm not sure why we do that. Again, I do this too. I think it's just because like maybe I can squeeze some value before I inevitably die. But there is no inevitable death here. You win this 1v1 95% of the time. Look at that. Look at her HP. Look at your nade. Look at your HP. She's screwed. Kill her. But if you don't nade her, I don't know if she's screwed. She'll probably kill you. So why is your first instinct here to look past her to nade a critical tank? Yeah. And then just guarantee that she's not only going to live, but that you're also going to die. My point being is that this is not a conscious choice. This is panic, right? But I want to highlight that when you panic, you stop prioritizing killing what's on your screen and self-preservation, and you just start throwing things at your teammates and hope that they carry it. Do you see what I'm saying? You got to focus on yourself. Not because you're the most important person on the battlefield, but because you're the one that your value on protecting yourself is guaranteed. It may not always work, but it's efficient, right? If a Kiriko Suzu's herself, she's gonna Suzu herself. If a Kiriko Suzu's a teammate across the map, it may not work. It may not even hit them. You may miss, but you nade yourself, you're gonna win. Now you might kill the Brig and die to the Rhine, but at least that's something that's gonna help your Hog more than you nading him and Brig lives and Rhine lives and you die. You see, this situation here, your nade is not what kept your Roadhog alive. His heal did. Yeah. But Brig dying here and you dying to Rhine afterwards, this fight is very winnable. In fact, it's probably going to be won. You see what I'm saying? So I don't want to make an obsessive deal out of that one little detail, but that is something that is probably going to happen very often with your gameplay and needs to be fixed completely. There needs to be your angle, your sightline, your duels, whether it's Genji, Tracer, Wrecking Ball, I don't care who's on you. That is your priority number 1 over everything else, even keeping your teammates alive. Now, if you can multitask, sure. But more often than not, especially with characters like Ana, you're not supposed to. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're keeping an eye on migratory practices, the bouncer, and what's on your screen. You see your migratory practices again? The angle's good. Check it out. But watch.
I went too far forward.
Yeah, you go too far forward, you get popped in the head. And then you're like, I got greedy. No, you didn't. You just fed. There's a difference. This is a very reasonable angle, and honestly, even a reasonable nade. If you're, here. If you're not here, then you're dead. So you're getting punished for what seems like a relatively reasonable proactive play because your execution was just horrendous, right? Now, again, I'm throwing stones here. I have the exact same problem. I don't know. Most students I have the W key disease, right? Again, it's just
definitely something I noticed was
yeah.
It was, what is it? Whenever especially whenever I nade, I seem to just always gravitate forward.
Yep. Now you're on main right now because you just came back from spawn, but we're reminded why we don't like being here as we just get hit by random spam, right?
Yeah.
So then our first instinct needs to be, where do we go from here? So once you're here, the alarm bells already need to be going off. Not in terms of I have to flank, but I need to take a different sight lane. Where is that sight lane? There's multiple choices. Where does your personality push you?
I prefer the stairs.
To your right?
Yeah.
I agree. There's no need to go for something crazy. Just take a nice juicy sightline off in the off angle, pop some shots on Rhine Shield, pocket your Ashe, maybe look for a mid-fight rotation on high ground, look for something silly right here. You got it. Now you could go here, maybe save your sleep dart, try to bait some attention, chuck some nade, but pretty risky. No need to go for a high risk, high reward play when you got a low risk, medium reward play, right? But this is the worst of both worlds. I like the cover here. It's okay with a sleep dart. Good healing. Now, remember what we talked about. You're going to run grab Mega, and your entire focus is going to be shooting this Brigitte. You're probably going to die, but you're going to take her with you. That's the #1 priority right now. Did you notice your first instinct? Just briefly, but did you notice your first instinct?
Yes. Yeah.
Right here. First instinct
and...
is look at the door. Like, somebody please help me. It's a cry for help. Right? No, it's not. You got to kill her. Now, to be honest with you, your chances of killing her are nil, and it wouldn't have mattered either way, but I'm highlighting that instinct, right? Highlighting that instinct as being the problem, okay? Let's keep going. I mean, sure. You need to be sneaky. You need to save your cooldowns here, but sure. Sure. So a couple of things. So first off, this is unbelievably high risk, high reward. I don't hate it, and I think this is pretty funny, but you don't necessarily have to. You could take an angle and apply pressure from here as well. What I want to highlight, though, is that this is fine if you play it well. Sure. So you played it well. Okay. You had both your CDs, you had full HP, you had the amount of surprise. Okay.
Yeah, I think I wanted to kill him because I felt like, I mean, if I just sleep him and then like turn, like go to the bridge, I mean, he's just gonna chase me down and kill me.
Yeah. When I'm referring to that, I'm more referring to your choice to push him in the first place. So from here, go for maybe the sleep, but then maybe look for the rotation itself. To be honest with you, I don't really care. I'm just happy to see some proactivity from you. It's just funny to me that we've seen two opposite extremes. Basically, sit behind tank, hard flank. Sit behind tank, hard flank, right? My point is that you don't always have to go in the extreme. But this is fine. I'd rather see this. Now, the execution is the important thing. If you're going to be murderous, you have to know how to take your duels. This is not how you take a duel with the Junkrat, right? This is how you take a duel with the Junkrat, right? So the shoot nade is fine, but you need the shoot nade from behind. 2 reasons. One, he misses his projectile more often because he has to 180. Second is because when he's turning, he's not strafing, which means your second shot is going to guarantee hit unless you fumble it. This shot is hard because he strafes first. You see what I'm saying? But if he has to turn, it's hard to strafe. So just walk directly behind him, and then you're good to go. That's a good rule for pretty much all characters.
Okay.
Now, that was still worth it because it's not a 1-for-1. It's a 1-for-1.5. Because she's not in a position to do anything right now. And if you were ult tracking, which I doubt you were, not that big of a deal. This guy had Riptire, you don't have Nano. So, good job. As messy as it was good. It's better than anything you've done the last couple of fights. And you've created opportunities for your team. Great job. Any questions so far?
No, I think I understand. Yeah, I'm trying to think like where, apart from the bridge, I guess.
Bridge
There
is
might
fine.
have been like a better direction to like approach this than like coming in here.
From where you are right now, I mean, the fight's lost. It doesn't really matter. So I'm more curious to see what you're going to do right now. You wait for your team, find an angle. And a lot of it is based off the scouting that you have. Why are you going high ground right now? What information do you have?
They're all on cart.
They're all on cart?
I see 3 of them on cart.
You see, well, you heard somebody up top here, and you heard a lot of people on cart. So you know what? Yeah. Sure. Good job. Good assessment. You found your angle. Let's be clear. Like, this is the same kind of assessment you were doing here, inconsistently, but you were doing it here. Good job.
Destroy them, Bob.
Yep. Unfortunate nade, but I mean, it's good. And now we can just, chill. Only thing I'd say here is just make sure that you're holding still and not strafing, because there's literally 0 risk right now. Remember the W key, right? Now, I'm saying if you don't like this sight line here, then that's fine to drop, but there's actually no benefit to you dropping from here to here, right? You have actually a worse sight line. So just hold the angle, be patient, nano your hog, and do whatever you like. Nice. Little revenge. Now, I want you to get off of cart here. Or, well, okay, either get off a cart or do something silly like this, right? Because this is where your proximity actually matters, right? If you're going to stuff the door, then yeah, sure, you can do that better there. Okay, what I'd like to do here is I'd like to jump into a live session. Are you able to stream Overwatch through Discord, and are you comfortable with that?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, it should be, yeah, I can definitely stream it. Wait a second.
I would like to just kind of jump right into applying the two things we talked about, which is filling the gap with your angle, like finding your off angle, whether that's a flank or not, and then trying to hold the angle unless you have a reason to. Don't migrate forward. Hold the angle.
Okay.
Those are going to be the two things we practice. Sound good?
Okay. Yep.
Okay. And all I'm going to do is prompt you. I'm not going to tell you where to go. I think it's important. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's jump into a quick quick play. Go quick play.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little bit better.
We'll cross our fingers here. Okay, tell you what. We're going to keep going with the stream while we're waiting. Can you see my stream?
Let me... Yes, I can.
Okay. 14 minutes.
That's the longest I've seen in a while.
Yeah, that's the longest I've seen, I think, ever at that rank. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about, with the exception of the W key, right? There's no reason for you to do this beyond this frame, right? We're talking about like 50, 60 extra damage that you're going to take because you walked out of this door frame, right? I like what you're doing a lot. That's really good. And then now you see Hog, so where do you go? You migrate back to main. Or you go with your Hog, I mean, that's fine too, because you got pressure in both main and right, because it's kind of your choice here, right? So
I think I saw like 3 of us on main, so I thought, you know what, go with the Hoggies.
yeah,
You know.
and even better, you look at the rotation this allows you to do. You see it? Now, you got to be careful of Hanzo, but remember, baiting Hanzo's shots and just being still able to chuck out a nade here is really good. It's more than a 1-for-1, because Hanzo does nothing. You do something with your nade, or you do something with your sleep. Everything about Ana and just support in general is about calculated risk, you know? The problem is that you gave up the angle because you got a little nervous about Hanzo, and then you didn't have vision to land an effective nade. You see that? This is good. I know what you're going to do, and I'm going to be so sad.
No. I don't drop here.
Oh, okay. Phew, okay, you had me scared for a second there. I thought for sure. That's incredible, though. It's a life-saving decision. Sure, because it did help you to land the nade easier, but then really there's no real reason for you to be on cart now. This just means you're going to get slept naded or shattered, right? So just get off of cart. That way, as you see how panicky this is and how many shots you're missing, imagine if this entire fight was played out from here or even here. How much more damage you'd be able to do. It's not about risk necessarily. It's the fact that how you behave when you're under that risk. And how you've done 0 damage in the last 8-9 seconds. Right? That's kind of like what we're looking for.
I know I was disappointed with how I played that, and I think...
I'm disappointed in how you finished it. Yeah, I'm disappointed with how you finished it, but to be honest with you, I'm pleased with how you approached your way of breaking this choke right here, right? The nade on the brig, the thought about rotating the top right. It wasn't executed perfectly, but I mean, it shows some ingenuity, and I think that should be something to hang your hat on.
I think I was disappointed with the very end. I think I just like thought like, oh, we can like just push this through.
Famous last words. Even in pro play, this happens. Oh, we'll just cap 3. No, we won't. Sometimes you will, but often you won't. This is fine. Your Ashe had the angle, so you played main, and then now your Ashe is rotating towards main, and so you're looking for an opportunity. Little bit more intention with the nade. This is just where panic is getting to you. Your Ashe can live for half a second longer. You just need to let her take a couple shots and hit this freaking nade. This is everything. Get this guy down or get her down. Focus more on your output of cooldown pressure than healing targets that aren't critical. You get what I'm saying? Just this hierarchy of needs right now, because it will be endlessly trying to put out the fire with a hole in the bucket. Just min the hole and then put the fire out. You're going to be so much better equipped to deal with it. And yes, she could get chip damaged, but ultimately that ends up you trying to do mending the hole in the bucket, but it's actually a worst case scenario because you're so focused on putting the fire out, you don't mend the hole properly and you end up missing the nade entirely. You see that? Relax, focus on the execution. If she dies, she dies. You hit the nade, that's what we're here to practice. Good shots, good try with the sleep dart. I don't like this compression of angle. I would have liked you to have rotated up to here just to have a better sight line, even if I'm in a couple of pot shots. Certainly would like you to do that when you get your nade next. I like what we're thinking with the nano. You can do it now. Now, this is the funny part. I know you have nano, which means you can get more aggressive here, but you're still looking at a Rhine shield. There's not really a lot of motivation for you to move forward here. Honestly, maybe just swing wide and look for a better angle to shoot people in the face. You get what I'm saying? Case in point. You see what I'm saying? There's just no real motivation for you to be here unless you need to get closer to somebody to nade their feet. With something with a shield, a lot less attractive. That leads to a panic nade, which leads to another miss. Now we're back on cart. We should still cap in theory, but now we're getting naded. Now we're missing cooldowns. We're doing 0 damage. We're panicking. We're not dynamited. We're punched. And then we're dead. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine how easy this would have been from that further back position. It's not that proximity is always bad. It's that if there is no reason for proximity, then don't go for it. If you took this flank here, there would be a need for proximity, yes? Because you need to get close, right, to actually hit your cooldowns, correct? So that's fine. But if you have a sight line, we don't need you to migrate forward to more effectively do your job. That's the idea. On an angle or a flank, like that Junkrat in first fight, yeah, you're going to have to take a risk to land that nade. Absolutely. But you get a sight line here, or a sight line, let's say, in defense here, you don't need that. Hold the angle. Only rotate forward if your team, like, let's say, pushes around the choke, and then you got to move. You understand? Mm-hmm. Okay. Any questions so far?
So far, yeah, I'm understanding. Yeah, like, just, if I don't need to, like, if I already have the sight line, then...
Yeah.
I mean, just keep
Correct.
it.
Correct. So here, for example, it's all about proximity. Why? Because this is kind of a flank, right? I don't hate it. This is all right. And this is you prioritizing the right things, frankly. Like, your Arissa's just an idiot, to be honest. She's standing in the open without any cooldowns. You will not be able to keep her alive. But what you can do is maybe get a trade, or maybe create an opportunity where all that damage is stopping, right? So this is good. I like this. This is bad. I don't like this. You get what I'm saying? She's dead. You knew she was dead, right? Follow up off of this. Hit another shot. There's easy way to get a trade here. Go for it. I also don't like this. I know exactly what you do. You're going to drop. It's a good sleep, but there's no reason for you to be here. Sit here. Are you going to die here? Maybe. Probably. But you're probably going to lose this fight anyway. There's no the only chance you have is maybe sleeping the Reinhardt and looking for a trade here. You understand what I'm saying? If you die, you die. That's not your fault. Let's look at what your Arista did, okay? She stood in the open. She javelined in the open. She's not using a single cooldown. And then she dies at 1 HP. That's her fault, not your fault. So you can only do your value, not what your teammates choose, right? And you know this, but the way that you're acting is showing that you don't act on that knowledge, if that makes sense. Sure? All right. Get a little sightline here. Don't like the nade on the Rhine. I think maybe it was intended for Moira. I hope it was. Good try with the nade and good try with the sleep. That almost got her. And now we run for our lives. Just let me know when the Q pops.
Yeah. I'm watching it.
Got it. You gave up. You panicked. Screw them. You're already 2/3 of the way to the rotation. Don't go back home. If you left the oven on at the house and the house burns on, so what? Enjoy your vacation. You get what I'm saying? Commit the rotation to here. You're all the way there. Just go. This is a good rotation for you. Really good call. But you keep letting your concern for your teammates who do have their own survivability in their own hands. Like, they can just find a wall. And you're letting it compromise your survivability and value for the rest of the fight. Look at the vision that you have right now. This is horrible. And I'm not even sure that you're going to be in time to keep your... Yeah, they're dead anyway. Don't have vision for a good nade. Don't have vision for a good sleep. You're staring at a Rhine shield. You're at risk of getting shot. It's again, it's the bucket analogy, right? It's you're never ever allowing yourself to utilize the knowledge because you're scared that if I go for half a second, this is something that I hear a lot from. It's less common in plat, thankfully, and diamond, but I hear this in bronze all the time. But coach, if I stop healing my tank for a second, they're going to die. Who cares? First off, that's always usually a hyperbole. I know that's not what you're saying, but that's often a hyperbole. And second off, okay, let him die. Where should you be?
I mean, I should just be going to the high ground.
Sure, but yeah, you've got both your CDs. You know Moira's dead. Angle's clear. If there's anybody there, it's going to be one person. You can handle one person. You got to go. And this is kind of like the real danger out of, oh, but coach my team, right? Because like, look at these are full HP. Why are we looking at them, right? It's almost like you start doing that so much, you do it without even thinking. You've created a habit. You notice that? Where I'm just going to keep healing and supporting and waiting. And then so yes, you do rotate, but it's a good 2 seconds, 3 seconds later than it needs to be. So even when the opportunity is perfect, you're still lagging behind. That being said, you're doing it again. I was about to compliment you. I was going to say, I'm glad that you're doing it, but you hesitate to rotate with your Genji. You heal your Genji, who's basically full, and you actually never really took space. You started to, and then you stopped. I'm not going to even ask why. I know why. We've seen it. We've seen this exact same situation before.
I get nervous.
All right, it's a really freaking good sleep. Holy crap, right? But you've done nothing here. Like, you've done almost nothing outside of sleep Reinhardt, right? Just goodness gracious. Again, imagine if your Orisa had died here and what with Nano, what you could have done from here. It wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have mattered. You would have been here, right? You have to trust your instincts here with your rotations. You cannot continue to put out fires. Let them burn. Good. We got a rotation finally. I mean, honestly, yeah. Lucio dies, he dies. You failed to follow up off of your own nade. I know you got shot once, and to be honest, why you got shot is partially because look at where you are in relation to where you should be. You see it? So it's that W key keeping. Right. But even then, with this fall off, even with a headshot, you should still be okay. I might take a pot shot here. If not, I might rotate to a different angle and look for a different sightline. This is good. Oh dear. That's okay. That's okay. You know what this is? This is consistency. We love to see consistency because you know what it means? It means something that you can fix. It means it's a consistent theme, right? It is something. Now I know what you're going to do. You're going to try and sleep the Rhine and you're going to die anyway. Right? So you even had the right idea of like, oh my gosh, this is risky. I have to sleep the Reinhardt, but you know, you're leaving it up to fate there. So yeah, this is consistent. Consistent means I wouldn't say easy fix, but it means that you can focus on really just the one or two things and get good value from it. Okay. This Q is rough. My goodness.
Yeah,
good sleep.
Still hasn't popped.
That's all right. That's all right. We're still getting lots of value here. All right. Now you got to make a decision here. You got a W to get to this corner here, or you got to sit here, or you got to sit, honestly, back here. But you got to make a decision here now. You're floating, right? So there's no upside for your angle at all. You can either go for something more aggressive or something more defensive, but I need something that has a reason for its existence. You understand? So where do you feel like you would like to play? Don't think about what's objectively best. Just what do you feel like makes the most sense?
Probably just go back because I feel like moving all the way forward to those stairs is like way too risky.
Yeah, sure. Now let me go back. Let me give you more context. What about now? What about now?
Stairs is fine.
You think stairs is fine, but what's the difference between the two? Why is it fine now?
The Ryan, like the entire enemy team isn't there.
Right, you had time, right? You had space and time to do so. You didn't do so, so now you limited your options of positioning. That's going to be a consistent theme for you. If you don't put the time in between fights, you're not going to have very many good options. Okay, but yeah, I agree. This is honestly fine with Nano if you'd gotten here soon enough. Without, probably back here, maybe even just going back to here. I mean, I don't even know. That seems so far here. Maybe I'm not sure. There's not really as many good options, but they're still better than where you are right now. Okay. That's nano as soon as this commitment happens. Oh. Yep, this is good. This is alright. It's good nano. It doesn't feel like a perfect commitment, but it doesn't need to be a perfect commitment, right? There's still shield break, like there's still pressure, there's still nades. It's fine. Good sleep. Good shots. I mean, this is a beautiful angle. It's a shame that we weren't here sooner. We could have done so much more from this position, but this is freaking amazing. Good nade as well. And you still almost killed the Moira without a single CD. Like this is actually like such a almost really good. And I actually think if you win this, it's basically just off of your efforts. Yeah, you freaking carried this potentially. Well done. Would have liked to have seen that sooner, but yeah, beautiful. Hey, all right. Look at that. Now I know you're gonna lose this fight, but you should be pleased with this. This rotation's not bad. I mean, it's fine. It just got a little sloppy towards the end in terms of how far you peeked from cover. If you're really struggling with like Mei shooting you, you can take a couple pot shots here and then duck around here. Hold your sleep dart for like if anything pushes you here, and then actually use it. But this is like messily executed, but you're going through the motions of trying to do the right things, and I think that's honestly just fine. Any questions before we sum this up here, and maybe we get like a couple minutes in a quick play game?
I mean, apart from this, this one, what is it? There was like I feel like I was struggle with Ilios especially.
Yeah, makes sense.
I'm like never like I'm almost like like.
Could take a quick look if you'd like.
Yeah, I think I maybe have one, but I know like we got absolutely rolled. I think in Ilios, but yeah, I do have one. CV9 ND9.
What are your main takeaways? Something that you can practice every game, regardless of whether it's like involved or not.
I think being a lot more proactive with like actually like getting to the angle and then from there like
so pausing you right there. Why are you not getting to that? Because that was one of the things that you said you've been practicing. Why are you failing? What's stopping you from succeeding at what you're trying to practice?
I'm like concerned about my team dying.
Yes. Your first mistake is actually you're not thinking about the angle soon enough. So you're taking way too long to get to those positions. Number one. And then number two, when you get started a little bit late, you bail halfway through it every time. You fail to commit to it. You need to commit, and you need to invest that time sooner so you can have your cake and eat it too. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
What else? So that's number one. Commit to your angle, find your sightline that makes the most sense, and do so as quickly as you can between fights. What's the second thing?
I guess I need to stop gravitating. Like, I keep like I just like essentially give up the angle, even though I still have a nice sight line.
Yep. You're pressing W from that position. Let's just be simple. Hold the corner. If you need to rotate to another angle further forward, that's fine. But notice your tendency to press W. Beyond that, I think everything else looked okay. I think what you're trying to do with sleep and nade, what you're trying to do with nano, what you're trying to do with your damage is okay. But those two things need to be fixed. Let's look at some Ilios here. Yeah, you summed it up really well. You pleased with this angle?
No. Everything's kind of coming at me, and
can you contest the Doomfist on the right? Is there another angle elsewhere?
Yeah, I could go through just this the building right behind me.
Sure could.
And I still have sleep, so
sleep, nade, mini health back. You don't even have to win the 1v1. You just have to kind of keep him contested and not dive for it. Which, to be honest with you, when you've seen him use a couple CDs and you've got yours, you're fine. You're fine. Now, it's weird to say that, because I think a lot of silver and gold players do not understand the value of this, but if you win this trade where he doesn't know that you're there, this is infinitely easier to get value out of than where you were right now. And you don't get hit by this. Or this. You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
It just feels infinitely more stressful to be here. Okay. Good shots, though. Good sleeps. And you're holding cover a little bit better than you were in Eichenwald, so that's good. Little detail as well. So one of the things with nade is you need to hit it on somebody that's aggressing, whether that's actually taking a sightline on you like this Ana is, or anything. This is clearly a muscle memory that needs to be educated more. Who is the most aggressive person relative to their hero on your screen right now?
What is it?
I mean, whoever this clump is, right? Yeah. Like whoever this is, right? Whoever this is, it's them.
I was looking at the what is it? The name and then the.
I'm enormous. Yeah. Whoever this is needs to get naded. Why? Not because you nade Cassidy, because this person is too aggressive, right? Now, if you didn't see that, this person also needs to get naded. You see this? This is a nade opportunity right here, right? You don't always go for Genjis, but if they go for you, nade them, right? Hit them in the mouth, right? So I want you to focus less on just nading backline or nading tank. Just nade whoever's positioned in a position to where they can get naded, and that's it. You don't have to force it as much. Uh-oh. You just didn't know he was there. You want to see something funny?
Yep. Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
I know I do that all the time if I ever try first. I cannot do like the really high mobility characters.
Good shots. Basically, initial angle could have been a lot better and without being as stressful. Even if it meant you didn't see everything, at least it opened an angle, a crossfire of some sorts. I mean, heck, even your rollout here. Where could you roll out here to open up a slightly different sightline?
I just take the stairs right now.
Yeah, just take the stairs. Yeah, get to here, right? It's not that, but high ground is an angle, right? It's just a 45-degree angle down, right?
And then from there, even if I don't see anyone, I can just keep moving.
Yeah, go to here. I thought you said you had a problem with Ilios.
Somehow I just always like seem to lose it.
I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not surprised with how you're playing, right? Because you're not doing anything that you're telling yourself to do. The question is always why. So why then are you not doing that? And it's easy to blame laziness or, but got to ask yourself, right? Is it concern? Is it distraction? Is it I'm not confident enough to try these things out? I don't know. But you got to try them out because it's the same thing here, and I know what you're going to do. You're going to line yourself up for AoE punches and nades and deflects, and it's a good nade there. That's a good nade. It's a really good nade. But here we go again. Like, your entire team is making the same mistake you are. They're all lining up in a corridor, and when Doomfist lines up in a corridor and doesn't get CC'd, he's the best tank in the game, right? If you take off angles on Doomfist, he has to try to selectively deal with you one by one, but the problem is that Doomfist, ironically, is really bad at killing isolated targets if they can see each other. Any CC, any pocket to that target means he doesn't feed punch, he doesn't get AoE value, he doesn't get AoE slam, doesn't get AoE ult, doesn't build empowered punch, and he doesn't do anything, right? The only reason this is working is because you guys are basically like fish in a barrel, right? It's good, Nano. You notice how little you can see without overwhelming risk here? It's because of where you're positioned.
Yes.
Nano, whip the angle here. You don't even have to commit to the angle, right? I think part of the reason why you're so scared of angles is because you always push on the angles. You could just sit here, bait the Doom, duck behind a wall, right? And this is where you could tell, you're like, man, this sucks. You go on the angle, you press W. Now, it's still not bad because you're still near a corner. Don't be scared of this. I don't like the nade just because you didn't need to rush the nade. Try to min-max your value out of the nade splash. You get what I'm saying? So take some damage, then nade him now. But that went about as poorly for you mechanically as it possibly could have been. You didn't have sleep. You naded way too early. You missed the mini health pack. You didn't hit all of your shots. And you didn't get pocket from your Mercy because you were in the middle of being bladed. And yet, look at his HP.
Still half.
Less than half, right? You chunked the son of a gun, right? This is good. This is good. Don't let this dissuade you from doing this again, but doing it better next time. This is also not something that's a gimmick that, as you get higher rank, this is not. No, this is going to work. As you get better, actually, this is why Doomfist falls off dramatically in higher ranks once you get Masters Plus, because supports just get too good. They just get way too good at shooting him in the freaking face. And we're not even really talking about Doomfist here. I mean, all the things that we're talking about applies to whatever you may possibly play versus. I wouldn't walk into a Ryan into a small room. I try to avoid him, but creating any sort of distance where he has to kind of commit to you, it's good value. This is why you struggle with Ilios. Ilios is a very compressed map. with not as many juicy long sightlines. So when you're finding yourself compressed, you shove yourself further into the locker, and then when you take space on the angles, you don't always behave very well, and you get punished for it, and it creates this vicious cycle. You get what I'm saying? I don't mind you taking high ground here to start, but if everybody on your team's high ground, I don't want you high ground. So let's see what happens. Keep rotating. Keep rotating. Trust yourself. Keep rotating. This is great. Now what's going to happen here is this Doomfist is going to come for you. I don't care. What are you going to do when he comes for you?
Start using my abilities on him.
Use your abilities. Relax.
Yeah.
Shoot. Nade yourself. Shoot him again. Sleep him. You know, you're good. You're good. So, unless he's got empowered punch and you don't have cover, he's not going to one-shot you. He's going to use all his abilities. You're going to be fine. Oh, he's not going to go for you. But in your immediate panic, you run away instead of defending yourself. So now I know what you're going to do. You're going to drop. To be honest with you, a Genji that's used dash to get to you, you have the advantage in this 1v1, believe it or not. There it is. Now look at her space control. G freaking G's. You know? Now, if I didn't have my cooldowns, I definitely would not want this, you know? But my goodness gracious. Okay, fine. You lost the angle. What should your next priority be then? Oh, you fell off of high ground. You know, you screwed up. What do you do now?
Start trying to find something else.
Find a different angle. You still got your cooldowns. Your passive health will kick in. Find what's your next sight line. It needs to be now. If you don't help your ball bashing out with pressure elsewhere, you're not going to win. You have to help them out. And look at where you migrate to. Where should you go from here?
Just keep going forward. Kind of. I think our Cassidy. Well, with our.
Like here. Like here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
This is it. Absolutely. Get your angle on the Kiriko here. Widen it here. Widen here. Create your distance. Create your space. Use the mini health pack. Use the cover that you have. This is where we are. You see it? And actually, what's ironic is you actually create vulnerability to yourself from Genji, because now you've allowed him to sneak behind you by giving him that position for free. So everything is going to be a terrifying jump scare. You see how scary this is? You're surrounded, right? And that's your fault. So this is really good because you've done a phenomenal job. Give me 1 second. This quick play queue is actually offensive. Like, what is the queue now?
26 minutes.
That's ridiculous. All right, well, we're gonna end it there. But you've nailed your rotations in terms of coaching yourself. You nailed it perfectly. No feedback from me on both Eichenwald and here. Beautiful job. Go do that. It's a lot harder to think about it in the heat of the moment, so don't be afraid of making mistakes, but go do that. Go do that. You even did a good job deciding what rotation was necessary depending on the cooldowns you had. Like you'd go, oh, I can go there because I have my sleep dart. I was like, yeah, actually, wow, that's good. That's correct. Yep. Go do that. And don't hold W. Hold the corner. You know.
I think it was really weird because I think I do remember whenever I was like had that massive losing streak. I think at one point I got into a game and I was like, you know what, I'm just fucking pissed off. I'm just gonna do whatever the fuck I want, and it actually went better.
Yeah, of course. You probably hesitated a lot less with how you were rotating. And even if you die, you create space. Like, again, death is not the end of the world for support, right? Lack of death can often be just worse than death because you didn't do anything to deserve that death. So, okay, any questions?
I think I'm probably gonna like rewatch it, but not right now.
Yes. So here's what I want you to practice, okay? If you want to self-VOD review briefly, I want you to do what we did with Ilios more than what we did with Eichenwald. I want you to just, even faster than Ilios, right? Go through, where did I go, where should I have been, and why? Do that again and again and again. And it's best to focus on maps where you didn't really know where to position, and so you can practice thinking of new angles to try. Because as we kind of saw, a lot of Ana positioning isn't just memorizing rotations. You notice how a lot of it felt like kind of in the moment, just kind of making reads? Like when you fell from high ground versus the Genji, that was dumb. But you know what? You could have made the best of it, right? And you immediately recognized where you needed to rotate to. Good job. That's good, right? Do that more. Practice what live reads you could be making in the moment in VOD review when you're nice and relaxed, and then go and try and practice it in a more heated environment. Whether you win, whether you lose, whether you screw up your W key, that's okay. Whether you screw up with your cooldowns or miss your shots, or it doesn't matter. Try it out. Keep going. You've got the tools, so you've got the knowledge for it. We just need to keep applying that more. That's kind of a bummer we didn't get some live coaching, but I think that you've got a pretty clear, specific thing to work on. And all I want you to do is go into 60% of your ranked games and only work on that. The other 20, 30%, I'd say work on that W key, just holding your corners as well. And the other 10%, we could work on whatever else you'd like, or you can just play to win. Doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
I think the way that you're trying to use your cooldowns seemed something you can always practice, but it didn't seem like a terrible weakness. Same thing goes for your nano. Yeah, I mean, you can practice whatever else you'd like, but okay. Any other questions?
No, not right now.